the size of that bass.
Live coverage of the AFTCO Bassmaster Elite at St. John's River is sponsored by Yamaha.
Welcome back to on-site coverage here in beautiful Palatka, Florida. We are halfway through semifinal Saturday, the very first semifinal Saturday of the 2022 Bassmaster Elite Series. And the leader is the same guy that has been the leader since day number one. John Cruz weighed in our BMC Monster Bag of the Day on day number one, and no one's been able to take that title away from him. They were crouching in on him, but look out. Cruz came out swinging in the last few hours, and he's back in the lead. They got close, but he didn't let them get close enough. But this derby is far from over. We have learned day after day in the afternoon hours, magic happens here in Florida as the heat continues to rise and these fish continue to potentially move shallow. Lots can change, but one thing that won't change is my partner right here. Bassmaster Classic champion, two-time Angler of the Year, Davey Height. Does John Cruz have this tournament? Is it done?
Well, it looked like we were, going to see a lead change just a few hours ago, and then John Cruz caught that big fish. He changed up, started fishing shallow with soft plastics. First pitch, I think it was, into an isolated patch of pads, and he caught that big fish. It just put him right back up there 10 or 11 pounds ahead of second place. So, there's still a lot of fishing time today, and things have certainly changed each and every day, except the weather. It's just gotten beautiful every day in the afternoon, and the wind does not blow one single bit. I've been here a lot of times. We've been here at St. John's River a lot of times, but never seen the wind not blow for 3 straight days like this.
I'm starting to think our anglers are liars. I mean, I saw all sorts of pictures in pre-fish of horrible weather. It has been postcard perfect here this week, and we hope it continues that way all the way through to Sunday. One thing that continues to change is our leaderboard, but look right here at a Florida Midday report. And what better guy to start it with than a former Open champion, old Bob Downey.
Yeah, old Bob Downey got off to a great start on day one and certainly has had to change since then. But the one thing that's been consistent, even though you see him fishing that top water bait there, I think that's the first time we've seen that by him all week long. The size of his fish when he does get a bite, they've been great. Day one had that second biggest stringer of the tournament so far, and only caught 5 fish. Yesterday only had 1 fish, but it was a giant bass also. Today he needs to catch 4 or 5 that size, not just the 1 or 2 like he's done so far, because he's got some ground to make up.
He has not done it on quantity. He has done it on quality. Even yesterday, like you said, just 1 fish for 6 pounds, 11 ounces. But every day is doomsday when you're David Mullins.
David Mullins has been just staying right around the top of the leaderboard and been very quiet. This morning he was extra quiet because he didn't even want to talk to you with a microphone in your hand, and that is so unusual. Normally everybody wants to talk to Dave Mercer when you put the mic in front of him, but David Mullins, I think he had a little issue with his batteries charging, but hey, he's hanging right in there currently in 4th place unofficially. Switching up a lot. He's been on the main river and in some canals, but mixing it up with his baits. He's not been able to catch those big fish like we've seen Downey and John Cruz, but just consistently catching those 2.5 to 3.5 pound fish.
You want to talk about consistency, never out of the top 10 here in Palatka. Patrick Walters.
Yeah, it's incredible for Patrick Walters to be as young as he is and talk about Mr. Consistency on the St. John's River. But as hard as this place is, and I mean, we've seen talked to Cliff Prince, we've talked to Seth Fighter, we've talked to Gerald Swindle, we've talked to just person after person that are great anglers and have been here multiple times, and it just throws them a curveball. But Patrick Walters has been able to catch them every time he's been here, which is absolutely incredible. He's used the 4-faces sonar last year and this year some. He's done some other things, but the first year he was catching a lot of those fish off the bed and flipping, so he's been able to mix it up and catch fish every time he's come here, doing a lot of different things, using a lot of different baits, fishing different sections of the river. He fished Lake George that first year exclusively.
Imagine traveling halfway around the world to chase your dream, and in your very first Bassmaster Elite Series event, Masayuki Masashita threatening for the title.
Absolutely incredible what he's done, and so unassuming yesterday. He's like, I hope I make the top 47 cut, and he's in the top 5, and this morning got off to a good start and really made a lot of people think, including myself. Boy, John Cruz has got his hands full, but John Cruz caught that bigger fish and got the lead back out there. But you can see here, caught 3 fish this morning, all the 4.5 to 5 pound range. If he can feel his limit out, very likely close that gap a little bit. And we talked about that some this morning. You don't have to make up the 10-pound lead that John Cruz has on the first day. You need to make part of it up today and part of it up the next day.
Speaking of John Cruz, our tournament leader since day number 1, there he is. The Cruz Missile wants this title. It's been over a decade since his last one.
Yeah, these elite trophies are so hard to win, to hold over your head. And John Cruz has been a great fisherman. He's a good guy. He's an ambassador for the sport. He owns a soft plastic company. He's been in the middle of the sport for at least 15 years or more.
Come here.
It's really surprising that he has only won that one Elite Series tournament, but he's certainly got a good shot at it here today. And it looked like, man, he's slipping a little bit, and Patrick Walters and people that were making up ground on him. But when he caught this fish earlier today, it's like, y'all get back. You're not gaining ground on me today. So just a great job. And hats off to him. He's doing a lot of different things he's been able to change with these fish.
John Cruz, I mean, don't let that one win make you think he hasn't had an incredible career. 12 Bassmaster Classic qualifications. I mean, he really has an incredible career, incredibly consistent, but it's just those victories are so tough.
They really are. They really are.
And if he continues to get that, you know, every afternoon he's got several bigger bites. I mean, it definitely is setting up Cruz, but it's Florida, and we've seen it over and over again. I mean, I was listening to Swindle and Matt Robertson on the live mix earlier, and Swindle said, right where they're fishing, you know, in Rodman, he predicted, he said, if this weather stays like this, he says, this tournament, somebody's going to weigh in 30 pounds tomorrow, because he thought the fish were that close to just moving up. And clearly we're seeing signs of that.
Well, listen to John earlier today saying that, hey, I knew I had to change up the fish that I had been catching in those areas. Even though it was more difficult to get them to bite on day 2, I was still seeing them. He said this morning I get to those areas and I don't even see those fish, which definitely tells you they've gone shallower.
I'm going to give you one anyway.
Give us an update, John.
Well, maybe not now. You know what? Let him collect his thoughts, and we'll hear from John Cruz in a little bit.
When you got a 10-pound lead on day 3 of a Bassmaster Elite, you can give the tip whenever you feel good and ready. You don't have to do it when we ask him to. Tough service over around, actually, most of the river, including Rodman Reservoir.
Masayuki fishing in Crescent, and we had talked earlier that we haven't seen Crescent play for a long time.
A very long time. It's absolutely incredible. The first Elite that I remember, it was the first or the second Elite. Now, we've had through the years, I mean, all the way back into the 70s, there's been Bassmaster tournaments on the St. Johns River. But the first and second Elite, there were a lot of fish caught, and even one of those events won primarily in Crescent Lake. And, boy, it just did not produce fish for a number of years. I practiced over there, spent a full day practice. I was talking to some of the anglers here earlier today. Gerald Swindle said he practiced over there a full day and had one bite. It's just like it just wasn't good, but the more anglers that I've talked to have fished there this year than in the last 5 or 6 Elite events.
Let's join old Bob Downey. Bob Downey took a win in the Opens on Grand Lake just a few years ago. He is the world's oldest young man. And that might play to your favor here, because slow is everything like that.
Yes. Oh, in the mouth, barely.
Looks like he's a little offshore, but maybe not. I mean, with that bait, I'm assuming that fish was on the bed.
Sweet. Gosh, these beds are hard to see, but they're different. That one I just set in there too and let it kind of sit. That's a 2 something. It's a fatter one. Yeah, 2.5. All right. Cool, cool.
That just shows you how much things have changed since the first day. He caught all of his fish on a liftless offshore.
Sweet.
2 of those fish were post spawn, but they were all offshore type fish on a lipless. And then this morning we've seen him catch one on a prop top water lure, and then one off the bed.
Those are the ones I actually.
Wow.
Certainly things have changed in 72 hours.
That one I was working up to my waypoint.
I mean, and with good reason. I mean,
I saw that bed.
I was saying it's with good reason that things are changing. I mean, it's for everybody at home watching this. You have no idea. Just like you honestly, it's one of those situations. Unless you're here, you won't believe. Like on day one, it went from
kind of stumbled into something here.
Below freezing. I mean, in the low 30s to 70 throughout the day.
Out. And then I saw that one, and I thought it was just like a cruiser, but that one was right there. That bed you can kind of see a lot better than the other one. But that's not, I don't think that's the one I marked. Man, that one was barely hooked.
Yeah, back to the change.
Yeah, that one you can.
First morning of the
still
event,
not
Thursday
easy to
morning,
see.
you're seeing people on the boat dock, and the most common thing I heard was, be careful, there's ice all over the dock. It's very slippery.
Old Bob looking at Bass. He's a lot like you were. Bob Downey got his eye on some bass right now. And the scary thing to keep in mind is if these fish move up, we've only got 10 anglers on the water. That's not a lot of splitting fish, is it, Davey?
No, it's not. It could be an incredible weights come in tomorrow.
Incredible weights coming in tomorrow and today. But we're not going to go away, but just for a few minutes. We'll be right back from the...
Your time on the water.